Clashes have broken out between police and protesters in Paris and in the northern city of Rennes over the country's labor reforms. In Rennes, at least 19 people have reportedly been injured in scuffles. Police have also allegedly deployed tear gas against protesters, both in Rennes and at a similar mass rally in the capital, Paris. In recent weeks, nearly 30 cities have witnessed protests across France, and there are calls for further unrest with fears the situation could escalate. The changes proposed by the French government could see the number of hours in a standard working week increased, as well as cuts in overtime bonus pay. While our news crew in Paris has been caught up in the violence as well, with an RT camera woman injured. Let's now cross live to Anastasia Churkin, our correspondent, who is there for more. Anastasia, well, you are wearing a protective helmet there, and tell us what happened to your crew. How's your camera woman?
Well, Marina, it's kind of been quite unpredictable here in the streets of Paris. It's very sporadic and chaotic, these protests, these huge march of thousands of people, and every once in a while sound cannons and batons and some kind of small little explosive devices start being thrown around. It's really hard to see when it's going to happen, because there are people here that are certainly peacefully walking around protesting, but then the crowd is so huge that every once in a while, and quite often throughout the day today, we have seen sound cannons being thrown and really clashes unraveling between police and protesters. With my camera operator, she was filming what was going on. Again, see, it keeps going off behind us right there now. She was filming, and some kind of, she says, explosive device was thrown, and it exploded near her foot, and she has now a bleeding leg. She's all right, thankfully, and earlier throughout the day she was pepper sprayed by a police officer, but this explosive device that ended up injuring her leg was thrown by a protester, we have to say. And see, again, everything is filled with these smoke cannons being thrown, and all of this is all coming in response to this labor law protest that began in response to a change that the government wanted to implement, and then turned into this huge movement of people protesting now for over a week, thousands coming out onto the streets to say no to what the government was suggesting. And it's really been unpredictable, because it's been going on through all sorts of cities throughout Paris, throughout France. And the fact that, see, I mean, this entire square now is filled with this smoke again. Not really sure what it is, but people are putting on scarves and masks, so we're going to kind of I can't even tell, to be honest, by the smell what this could be, but people are running away and covering their faces. So in the meantime, for more information on what's been going on here in Paris, let's now go to a story that we filed earlier today. Just like Occupy Wall Street 5 years ago, Nuit Debout has a very strong grassroots movement. They're very active on social media, and they have their own radio stations and TV channel where they have a live broadcast of events taking place at this square every day. So today we're going to meet the guys in these tents and talk to them about the work that they do, why they're here, and how it all works.
The goal is to allow the people behind the movement to speak about themselves and what they stand for without a media filter. We broadcast each night's assembly in full, so nothing is edited out, and the people can see everything that happens. That's what is important to us.
This tent here is TV Debout. They have their own YouTube channel and a broadcast.
Scientists and economists and other people who are not necessarily well known to the wider public are our guests. It's important for us to give them a voice, to show that behind the spontaneous movement of ordinary citizens, there is also the support of intellectuals.
Nuit Debout, of course, stands for Night on Our Feet, so it's at 6 p.m. every day that everybody comes out onto the square and continue on until roughly midnight or 1 in the morning, and sometimes even later. Now, the Nuit Debout movement have their own calendar going. It says the 39th of March here, and the reason for this is because Nuit Debout really kick-started on March 31st, and instead of switching over to the next month, they decided to keep going, and now it's been over a week of these protests, and they're not showing any signs of dying down anytime soon. Anastasia Churkin, RT, Paris.